Yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Trash Talk. Today,
Howdy ho.
I'm joined by my boy Nate Bohnet. You can hear him in the background there.
Hey, everybody.
He's from Medicine Hat. He plays in a band called No Hope for the Lost. They just finished recording their latest effort, and I put the new single on the latest metal sampler. So, check it out. Let me know what you think.
Yeah. Please do. We like the soup.
Yeah, I heard. I'm getting a really bad video delay, but whatever, we're going with it. It's probably just my delay through the call into the studio, so we're just going to go with it, buddy.
Sounds good to me.
So, you Yevon. A lot of people.
You Yevon.
You see, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. This is where I'm getting at. What the fuck is it? I Fantasy, but obviously it has something to do with Final Fantasy. That's what everybody keeps telling me, so...
Yevon is essentially the god of the land of Spira, or Yevon is actually who they praise. Yevon is essentially someone who, 1,000 years prior to the events of the game of Final Fantasy X, was the leader of the area called Zanarkand, and they were at war with Bavel and Spira, and he essentially was losing his war. Like he was like they're not going to win. We're not going to win. So instead of just accepting defeat, what he does is he sacrifices his entire country to preserve them in this dreamland state, creating something known as the faith. So. Yeah, and that's where our character Titus that you play as throughout 10 actually originates from. He's a manifestation of all these people or of someone, because every person within Zanarkand still lives their lives like at the 1,000 years after this event, everyone that was sort of preserved within this dream state continues. Like it's still like its own life cycle. Okay, if that makes sense. And so our character comes in at around 1,000 years after this. And what has happened because of this is now everyone in Spira just saw or thought that they saw this giant entity known as Sin. And they thought, oh, well, the gods must have hated Zanarkand because of their advancement in technology, and therefore Sin came forth and destroyed them. That must be what happened. So we're going to praise this new god that we think of as Yevon, and we're going to pray, let's humble ourselves, refrain from tech, and whenever he shows up, it's because civilization's getting too far. When in reality, what it is Sin is the protector of this dream state, and he merely exists to kind of create a false illusion to his purpose. He's not there to cast like judgment and just wipe out civilization as they advance. He's literally just there to protect a facade of basically the country that was losing the war 1,000 years prior and created himself as a god. And so the reason we titled the EP The Pilgrimage is because obviously you've installed a new god. There's a new religion. It's been 1,000 years at this point. The religion of Yevon has now seeped so far into a state of, society that they have now believed that there needs to be this thing called the pilgrimage, where we send a summoner through a few trials to acquire a few aeons, which are the summons, Bahamut, Shiva, Ifrit, all of these different aeons are essentially your companions. They're there to help you. And the point is to acquire the final aeon. No one really knows what the final aeon is until you get to basically the end point of the pilgrimage, which is where you find Yunalesca, Yevon's daughter, who was not present in Zanarkand at the point of this. And so basically became a living entity that created this religion so that she could perpetuate this cycle for her father and maintain the existence of the faith and the existence of Zanarkand in this dream state. And so what happens is these summoners, they come forth, they get to the end, and they believe, if I get to the end and I acquire the final aeon, I can defeat Sin and bring an era of calm to my country, where Sin is not present, destruction is not there. There is peace, there's tranquility, there is that sense of calm throughout the land. But you can only do that through acquiring the final aeon. But what you actually find out is the summoner, who has multiple guardians, just people that are there to help the summoner get to this point. our character in Final Fantasy X, Tidus, is technically a guardian. Wield the sword, help the summoner get to the end, whatever. The final summon essentially is a sacrifice where the summoner has to sacrifice their life to transform one of their guardians into the final Aeon, who will not only defeat Sin, but actually become the new Sin, because Yevon, basically lives as a parasite within Sin. And so when Sin is defeated, Sin latches on to the Aeon that kills it, goes into remission, goes into hiding for however long, 10 years, 40 years, 100 years.
6,000 years.
Exactly. But inevitably comes back repeating the cycle. And now imagine what mental anguish that would be for a summoner who spends their entire life basically going, I am going to go on this journey to bring eternal calm to my people, just to find out, oh, so if I do this, we're fucked. And if I don't do this, I'm going to get cast out by society, deemed a traitor, deemed a heretic, probably killed by just people that don't believe what I've come to learn, because it's been so kept sacred that it just creates this weird duality of what is the right choice? What is it that you have to do? And Yevon just gets to sit there being like, yes, play your game. Just give me a life. Yeah, just do your thing. It doesn't fucking matter. You've lost either way. Exactly. And that's Yevon.
Wow. You guys really put in a couple days of work onto this, eh?
There was a solid month. This was most of June, actually, because the instrumental was an old song, and I just wanted to completely rewrite the lyrics to it, maybe keep a few key phrases that I liked that may have worked, but I wanted to be like, if we're doing this concept, I want to put in the work on it. So I spent a month with nothing but Final Fantasy X lore and backstory and history of and all this shit, because I had a lot of things in June seemed reminiscent of the themes in the game as I was diving into it. And it was just there's so much of a duality. I love how the people that manufactured this game really looked at the human psyche and civilization and society and manipulation of society and brought all these very, I don't want to say controversial themes, but just a lot of things no one wants to touch. By the end of it, the entire theme is this religion is a hack that's been used to control people for over 1,000 years and kill people just to preserve itself.
All religion.
Exactly. But in the case of that game, just looking at it as a microcosm of itself and not wider themes, that was the main point. And all the other things of how the heads of the government were also dead. They preserved themselves just so they could continue this on, or so that they could become a part of it, because they wanted to become just as powerful as Yevon, or as Yevon, and become a part of that cycle, because again, people crave power. Certain types of people will crave power and will do whatever they can to get it.
Well,
and then
power is one thing, but control.
Yeah, that's a better one, I think.
Because
yes.
when people have control over the things that they want, they don't really go because I have control over my life. I'm not searching for fucking power.
That's true.
But
actually,
that's just my thoughts, right?
No, actually, you're right. Control would be a very good one, because Seymour Guado, for anyone who has played FF10, they're probably mumbling, fuck that guy. You fight him about 4 or 5 times in the entire game. He just will not give up. But he's basically a really good allegory for that, because he's an individual who is technically at a young age raised knowing that he was supposed to do this, or that he would be something, from a race that was kind of, quite frankly, spat on by the main civilization that they were a part of. They were just a subsect race that wasn't really looked at too fondly. And then, long story short, his mom sacrifices herself to become his Aeon. So there's a weird sacrificial thing. He leaves their entire cult, comes back to basically rule them, and then ends up being the maester of all of Bavel, which in our case would be similar to president or prime minister, except add a dash of pope in there.
Ooh, add a dash of pope indeed. I always like to add a dash of pope to all my sinister subject matter.
Right? It just helps add so much to it.
It's like salt and pepper on a steak, politics and pope. on
it's just
some subject matter.
Yeah, it's just, even I think at one point gave him a nice little spear to hold on to. Like, he didn't use it as a weapon, but for a ceremony, it was there. Scepter, yes, but it was and
fish hat.
And fish hat, yes. But he's another guy that after you beat Unaleska, he's now there being like, yes, I have refused to be sent because I want to be the one to latch onto sin. I want to be this super powered blah, 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 blah. And you're just like, can you just fucking die, please? Like, stop, just fuck off. I killed you 3 times.
What are you guys going to do when the album drops and you realize everybody wanted Final Fantasy VII?
Well, that's okay because there are multiple different things we can go for. We thought, let's hit the last good one first, and then we can.
It's spicy.
Oh, just a little bit. Nothing against 13 and 15. Just I haven't been able to get into the titles post 10. I feel just for me, they lost their luster. I enjoy what they're doing, but beside the point. I also want to see what the fuck happens with 7 Remake Part 2 and 3 because I do like the way certain things are developing, but I want to see how they go. I want to see how they dive into subject matter, and
it'll be cool.
It will be, and I think if anything, the next one I'm going to touch is 8 because we can't forget Squall took an icicle to the chest, guys.
Right?
That was the first disc, man. Like you're just like, yeah, I got this. I got the junction system. I'm good to go.
He's dead, and the rest is a fucking dream.
Well, dude, that ending though,
He's
like
not dead.
No,
it's a dream.
I love the deterioration of his psyche at the end of that like during that final fight.
Have you seen the Game Series episodes on it, man?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Spice.
That's another thing that really inspired me through this because I've always been a fan of things like game theory or any of these deep dives, especially like Bloodborne lore, Dark Souls lore, Final Fantasy lore, like all this stuff. Like I really like just getting into the nitty gritty of that at times. For I don't know, it's just fun. It's like diving into the lore of any kind of fantasy that you're into. If you're really into Lord of the Rings, a lot of people go far past just learning about Mirkwood elves and Rivendell elves.
Of Lord of the Rings, I'm actually going to have Chris Saunders back on just by himself so he can go fucking ham about Balrog the same way you're going ham about you, Yevon, right?
Yeah, no, and that's exactly it. Like, they're exactly the same thing in those aspects of, like, just passion and drive, and it's really nice seeing that being embraced a lot more. And the fact that the internet's allowed that to be a thing, because quite frankly, a lot of these conversations that you see through like game theory or film theory or any of this stuff, I really like film dissection too. Love dissecting scenes and atmosphere and lighting and all that, just seeing like how it builds things. But I feel like this is all stuff that quite frankly, prior to this past decade, was reserved for basements with 2 or 3 people that maybe didn't have the most friends that were just like, hey guys, so everyone else is doing stuff. What are we going to do? I got 6 games. Let's just go ham. Yeah. Oh, dude, FF10. Let's go ham. And the one guy's going, and everyone else is just diving into all the other stuff to make it as immersive for everyone. And I like that that's no longer basement culture. Like, it's something that's embraced and it's dived into because it is a wonderful art form. Video games, anime, film past just big blockbuster films. Like it is amazing how much creative art goes and drive goes into these things in one way or another.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. Like it's brings you back to like conventions and shit back before all this fucking COVID shit. Conventions where like there was conventions specifically for things like Final Fantasy, like Lord of the Rings, anime. Otafest was at SATE. Like, I used to walk through SATE during Otafest all the time just to see everybody in their badass anime costumes, you know? And my buddy, my brother actually, EJ, not blood brother, but close enough. He used to go to Otafest too. Like, he's a big anime fan, and you wouldn't think it at all. Like, he's a punk rocker just like me, right? But fucking hardcore anime fan. And it's those fandoms. What I think is it's the fandoms that are pulling people through this kind of stuff, knowing that there's something to do out on the other end of it. Because like
100%,
that's what's keeping me going. Like, I can take trash talk to the festivals and the shows again, because people are like, oh, the government's not going to relinquish our rights back after the vaccinations. It's like, well, the government's not going to fucking stop you. Once enough business owners say I'm opening my doors, there's nothing you can do about it. Well, And you know what? I might be wrong about this. I'm not a business owner, you know. The government is going to keep all these regulations in place, and people are going to, but then what's going to happen? The pushback from fucking business owners and economic drivers is going to be fucking insane. If not just people who can't work are going to riot, everybody's going to fucking riot.
Yeah, if it gets to the point that certain people are projecting that it could possibly get to, it's not going to get to a point where everyone's going to be complacent with it. No, it's going to piss everyone else off.
Well, everybody's waiting. Like, people don't understand that the couple 100,000 opinions that they've seen online or through the media or whatever, that's a couple 100,000. There's the silent majority that's still moving through with their life, not complaining about shit, not even talking about shit, just going to work every day. They're going to go get their vaccination. They're going to keep living their life. And there's hundreds of millions of those people out there that aren't fucking bitching and whining and complaining. North America, the continent, is a very small portion of the world. It's not even densely populated. And all we're getting,
especially Canada.
Exactly. And all we're getting is the filtered fucking Western media sources. So we're not getting the videos and the media about the mass vaccinations in other countries and their lives going back to normal in swaths. All we're getting is media filtered through this tiny little fucking lens. I got this app on my phone. It's called Ground News, and it gets news articles. It'll find a news article, and then it will pull it from all these different news sources, and then it'll show you the political biases from
smart
sources. So I can look at left fucking biased, I can look at right biased, I can look at centrist, I can look at all of the filters for this one fucking news story. And it really helps me to fucking realize that, you know what? Just go to work, just live your life, it's all gonna come to a head soon enough. Oh no, did my phone just die? Yeah, it sure did.
Oh no, Nate in the dark.
Nate in the dark! Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no. She's gonna get ya.
You know what? I think my battery packs are all dead too. Like,
you need to get yourself a nice long cable. Nice long cable.
I got to get myself a lot of stuff for my little corner here. Next time you come to Calgary, you got to see my setup. It's actually not too shabby. But
hell yeah.
Okay, let's go. I'm gonna let you run through track listings really quick.
Sounds good.
And what these people get to expect. And I'm gonna get a new chord going on, and I'm also going to get Red Bull for myself. So I'm going to black myself out here on the studio, and you can show us what you're all about, bro.
Already. Okay.
Just go.
Just go. Okay, so if we're doing it, it's a 4-track EP, and the first opening track is Brasco. And that, for anyone who heard music I released like years back, we did take basically a song and transform it into 2 songs. So this used to be the intro part of a song that I released years ago, but we re-recorded the instruments. I rewrote the bass lines. We kind of wanted it to be an escalation into You Yevon, and we thought that was a really good kind of way to also mask like Brasco being very naive, being thinking everything was going to be good, everything was going to be all right, and then getting into the transformation into You Yevon and having that realization, sort of just completely twisting it and using that laugh to kind of also show that, and just how the lack of Yevon's care for that human mentality on things really goes, or not so much his lack of care, but his knowledge of how to manipulate that to get what he wants. Then we go into You Yevon, in which we've gone into depth on. It is available. You should check it out on streaming platforms, or check out the YouTube channel that we have it on. From there, we go into Unalesca, which is a great interlude track that Ray threw together. I want to say this was September or October, so we had already recorded the rest of the tracks. So we're trying to think of a bridge track from You Yevon to Jet, which is the last track on the EP. And at this point, I was doing a lot of scale practice. I was finally deciding I'm going to dive into this theory for producers fast track available through URM that I have been pussyfooting around for 2 years, because it intimidated me. I didn't want to put in time. I didn't want to do it, and then I finally went, fuck it. I'm holding myself back. Just fucking do it. And one of the exercises was just write a chord progression, or write a lick in some like key, go from here, figure it out. And I don't even remember what key we were in, but I was just had 2 riffs layered over each other. And Ray came downstairs and was like, yo, what is that? And I was just told her what it was, and she's like, send that to me. I'm going to do something with that. And so if you hear any of the guitar that happens in Unalesca, what Ray essentially did is took that and built this really beautiful like interlude track with some piano and some just vocoder vocals of the chorus that you kind of hear. Not only in Jack the following song, but in Brassica's the opening song, and just really having that ease from going the tension of you, Yevon, to, I guess, the manipulation and the false deity that is Unalesca as basically the gatekeeper of everything, and then transforming into Jack, who is, as most people will remember if they played the game, is the individual who embodies sin throughout the game that you play, and is also the father of the main character, and kind of has this whole idea of like figuring out how to break the cycle while also trying not to lose control of themselves, and just still doing what needs to be done as sin, but trying to keep some kind of awareness of who they are so that they can communicate in some way with Titus and help the journey go well, or in kind of helps lead Titus along the way. And just those four songs together, we're just really happy with how they came together and how they worked. We got a music video actually for Jack that's going to drop the day the EP drops on the 9th.
Ooh, make sure you send me that music video and I will do a live stream reaction.
Hell yeah, will do. And yeah, aside from that, the main thing I really like about Jack was it was originally the main core bit of the song The Painted World that I had released on my solo album. Same with like Brass is the opening bit of that, but what Ray did, and I love this, like she let me record Brassica on my own, just keep the guitar parts as they were. But when we got to Jack, there's like, all right, let's spice this shit up. Let's make this, let's make this not sound like the OG. We'll keep the structure because we like how it flows, but let's do everything we can to make it better. So there'll be parts where like the main riff is there for a bit, but then we evolve it and we let it escalate and we let it take you on a journey. And that's one thing I really like about how Ray and I go about writing. Like, I don't know if you heard our song during the 8-hour song challenge, but that's something we really like is like, let's not just repeat things for the sake of repeating things. If we're going to even do, in the case of Yevon, do a verse chorus structure, let's do things that allow escalation, that allow interest to still be there, to make something feel like there's a build or a dynamic within it. And I like that we have this natural way of just figuring out how to do that, and piecing things together and jiving off each other if something's working or something's not working. And I feel Jack was a really good test ground for that, taking a previously written song and being like, okay, that's cool. Well, let's say this isn't all set in stone, but how do we improve on this? How do we make this better? Are the things that we can make work on this? And yeah, I'm really excited for that one to drop on the 9th with everything. And that's EP.
Nice. It's about fucking time. Like, honestly, seriously and honestly, Nate, come on.
Yes.
You gotta give it to Ray. She's the reason you fucking finished that this year.
She busted her ass. Like this is the first time in a long time I've been able to sit with someone in a room that consecutively over days and days since like you or Cesar back in the day, and just have it be productive, even if, say, there were things behind the scenes that we had to deal with. And we just were like, it doesn't matter, like, whatever's happening is happening, but we're here to do something, and we're going to utilize our time. We're going to bounce off each other. We're not going to be trying to find ways to nitpick at each other. We're going to find ways to make the songs better and move and groove off of each other. And we had this workflow where we knew when, say, Ray needed to take a break from playing guitar. If she went hard for 2.5 hours, like, cool, that's great. Give yourself a break. Go upstairs. Decompress a little bit. I'm going to get bass tracked up to this part. Just so that we're still moving forward. You don't have to feel like I'm riding your ass all day. You have some time to come in, come out. I'll let you know when I'm done my part. And then you can come in and do your thing. And it was really nice to be able to find that ebb and flow that we've kind of been able to build and continue off of.
It's good because honestly, I'm so happy that she is starting to get her strength together mentally and personally and emotionally. It makes me so happy. I got pictures of her sleeping on my couch like a mess after festivals. And like I want to show that to her one day, but honestly, I don't think that I'm just so stoked. So stoked. She's one of my greatest and dearest friends, just like you, buddy.
She's doing everything she can to be better coming out of this than she was going into this. And I think, and I think honestly, that's just the focus everyone should have. Like, I know I myself am a bit of a fucking hard ass on people at times. And that's never a like pedestal thing. It's just, I don't like seeing my friends regress. I don't like seeing people that are on my feed that I guess maybe for some it's holding them to a certain level of accountability that maybe I don't know that that's where they should be. Maybe just based off the few experiences I put them where they should be. But just, I know that's something everyone online deals with, and it's a matter of taking a step back. But when things do get heated and there's purpose behind it, there's no insult, there's no like intention to like throw jabs, but there's just like being like, hey, yo, what about bringing something up, not for the sake of like argument, being like, does this not count? Does this not matter in the landscape of what we are talking about?
Yeah.
And I get we are all very subject to confirmation bias and wanting to really stick to our guns and our ideologies and our mindset on things, but we also have to have the ability to have some kind of goddamn conversation.
And I think that's where one-on-one comes in. Like with social media now, people try to have the conversation through groups,
and it doesn't work.
People, through filters, through fucking because it's only words on a screen. So whatever emotion you're projecting onto those words on the screen is how you're.
That's what you're getting. Yeah.
And like I have an issue with that too. I have an issue posting shit that I should just save for the podcast. So that way nobody can project whatever they're feeling onto it.
Hold polls. Like midway through a show, maybe hold a poll. Like, well, and make that.
I need to do more of this. I need to get more of these podcasts out because so far I've recorded one with Mark Russell. I've recorded one with Swan. And I recorded an audio one on video through a Discord with Dave Phantom from the States, and the one with Swan we're gonna redo. Because the video, I had to jump in and out. The video is just bad. Discord and OBS running at the same time. I don't have enough room for it.
Fair enough.
This is running really well, actually. I'm actually super, super pleased with this. I'm going to post it right after we're done.
Fuck yeah. You brought up Swan.
Yeah.
I just because I don't want to forget this, and I think, and I've said this to him, and very few people are. I've said this to very few people. Very rarely do I actually message someone and say, I am fucking proud of you.
Yeah.
Because nothing against anyone, but I always find there is a lot of pull. A lot of people feel like if I give advice, it's for the sake of, I want you to be me.
Yeah, you do come off like that sometimes, you little fucker.
And that's not the case. It's I want you. Yeah, it's I want you to not make the same fuck-ups that held me back for as long as they've held me back. Yeah. The sooner you can come to this realization, you can come to whatever that means for you. And for Sean, fuck, has he figured that out in strides?
He's like, an animal, man. Just like you are. He fucking pumps.
I'm going to argue. I'm going to say this right now. And if he hears this, I know he's going to blush about it. But I will argue that dude pumps out more shit than I do with the genuine intent of just writing whatever he can. I can't remember the last time I wrote 7 songs over 6 months just sitting on my ass fucking around with the DAW. I'm doing way too much other shit on there. Sean's sending me fucking demos, rewrites, all this other shit. Like nonsense, yeah, and you know it, and it's amazing. Like I remember, there's a song Karma, and we wrote it way back in the Illusion of Daylight days. Like it was never a song that we got to use. It was kind of the one where we realized, oh, we want this to be a heavier project than the other guys do. We'll put this on the back burner. But we wrote it in Guitar Pro. And then we did a really shitty Mixcraft live version of it between us, and it was like, all right, cool. Here we go. And then Sean just kind of stuck with Guitar Pro for years and years and years, and was always kind of resistant to Reaper, always thinking like, I can't do it. I don't have the things.
I know a lot of people who are resistant to DAWs, man. Holy fuck, is it a headache to tell people like, hey, it's not that difficult. Just
not.
jump in and you will be able to do your own stuff, no problem. But everybody has their choices, right, and their own reservations, and you can't pressure them on that.
No, and it takes their time, and it takes encouragement. And so with Sean, like there were numerous times where I'd go to him, like, and I will state this: there were a few points where Sean just didn't have a computer that could do what he wanted. It didn't matter what we did; it was just like it wasn't there. But he recognized that, and he was like, well, not just for my music, but just for my life. Like, having a functional home computer is handy. I'll get a basic one that just works. And he saved up for it, and he got that before the pandemic. He had already figured that part out before the pandemic. Pandemic starts. He gets a little miserable, as a lot of us did. I'm not going to put myself in that boat, but that's just because I feel like I was mentally primed for this over, like, everything else that I've had to deal with. Like, the pandemic was finally a point where I'm like, everyone's on my wavelength now, and I feel bad for those that aren't adjusting.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't drive and stuff, like, I wake up at 5 in the morning, I leave my house at 6, and I'm home at 5 at night. And then I'm exhausted from work. Like, by the way, I fucking got another promotion coming my way.
Fuck yeah. Add a B.
Yeah, that'll be a fucking, and maybe, fingers crossed, after the job, maybe another raise. That'll be fucking a good chunk in 1 year.
Fuck yeah, just keep putting in the work.
Well, now it's like, you know me, I've been talking about doing this stuff for years. I've been talking about doing the interview stuff, doing the host stuff, all of that for years. And
now you're doing it.
Well, yeah,
you're finally doing it.
When World Class ended, for like reels, not for another breakup show, you know? When World Class ended for real, that was like, okay, now it's my chance. And there's just more and more pushing me to do it. And then all of a sudden this happened, and it was like, I keep telling people I'm gonna fucking do it. I gotta fucking do it. And I finally started, and I'm still a little bit slow popping up on it, but
you're learning. You're learning.
And I started.
Exactly.
I started with my fucking cell phone and a laptop, just because I wanted to.
Dude, when I was over with Ray, it was like we just popped something up and we did it. Like, it was like, I don't care how, let's just figure out how it works.
And now I got my desktop. Now I got a webcam. Now I got 2 monitors. Now I got another camera coming. I've got lights coming. Like,
you're doing everything to, like, you're doing it. You want to do it, and you are. And to bring it back to Swan, because it gets positive. We're not going to leave Swan in miserable mode here. That's only the first little bit here.
Yes.
Ray, myself, and a few others, like, we're constantly, I'm like, dude, you can do this. You are creative. Don't get down on yourself. Don't stop doubting yourself. If you're having issues,
others for your creations either.
Exactly. That was exactly it. Like, just because you can't come over here. So I remember it was this time last year, I was like, hey, if we can't do shit, Sean, do you want to do a Metallica cover? I know I never want to do a Metallica cover. I'll let you pick a fucking Metallica cover. Let's do it. I'll learn the drums. I'll be Lars. And he was like, oh yeah, I'd love to do it, but I don't have the things to record it with. I'm like, I will lend you an interface. I will set Reaper up for you. I know I can't come over there, but I will drop it off. I will send you every fucking link you need from the Reaper blog on YouTube, which is probably the most useful YouTube channel.
Now the restrictions are loosened.
Yeah. Yeah, but this was back in June.
Back when it was locked down again.
Yeah, exactly. So we're still in lockdown. And from that point, Sean went, wait, so what do I need? If I want to do this, what do I need? I'm like, well,
$50 Focusrite.
Yeah, and not only that, timing is everything. Like, yes, Sean is in a better case than someone right now if they were going to do this, but that's just because Sean saw all the sales that the plugin companies were giving when that happened, because they all realized a bunch of musicians are stuck at home and can't do jack shit. So instead of charging them full price, like $150 for amp sims, $200 for this, that, and the other thing, they dropped themselves basically to 33% market, like, ticket price on a lot of this shit, if not less, for a month. A lot of people were giving shit away because they're like, we feel bad. Get something to allow yourself to do something. And Sean got himself Pod Farm. He got himself content, Get Good Drums. He got Reaper. I think he bought it. He's not on free trial mode. He just paid the $60 and went, fuck it. $60 for a fully functional DAW when everything else is 500 plus? Yes, please. I'll take that. It gets updates whenever they need to. And then it was just a matter of like, hey, so how do I do this? hey, so how do I do this? Hey, can you listen to this and let me know what you think? And then being able to give like mixed crit notes and being like, I think your bass and your guitar kind of fighting each other. Try doing something with your EQ.
Yeah.
And instead of getting the whole...
I've seen Swan's guitar and bass fight. It's nasty. They use knives.
They do. But he's instead of like most people, if you were to say, here, use a bell curve at 100 or duck out the bass at 200. Yeah, a lot of people will just be like, what the fuck you mean? But Sean's like, all right, wait, so what plugin? RIA EQ? Okay, I'm going to open that up. Oh, so that's what you mean. What's the point of that? Well, think of it. It's like a cake. You need to make space for everything.
Ooh, cake.
Right? And using analogies of like if your guitar and your bass are fighting, like where do they have to live? What regions are at each other that don't need to be? Keep those in mind. And he's receptive to it. Like, it's fucking amazing to hear him progress with just his home demos and be like, fuck, man, I think some of the things you're pumping out are demos are better than things I released as actual, like, releases 5 or 6 years ago when I thought I knew what I was doing a little bit. Like, it's awesome.
Swanzino!
And that's
little angel.
He is, but that's where I don't want to say that's why I get frustrated when I see people make excuses for not even doing the bare minimum. But he is the prime example of like, if you fucking love this, you will find a way to do it. He had resources that. Not now that he didn't have then, but even before the pandemic and before he had that little bit of a mental lull, sure, he was resistant to going the route he is now, but he was still writing a Guitar Pro constantly, sending little videos. Hell, he had the These Hands and Where to Catch Them thing going for like a year straight.
Right, and that's he messaged me the other day, and I'm not going to talk about what the personal message was because it was personal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He messaged me the other day, and I told him the exact same thing. Buddy, do it yourself. Do it yourself. Don't let anybody hold you back. And fucking give her. You write so much. You riff so much. You got so much going on. For you to not record it and release it yourself, or at least record it and master it and put it the fuck away so you have it, you're doing yourself an injustice. Like,
don't let your ideas just fall to the wayside.
Well, yeah, and so I told him, do it yourself. Do it without going into the details of what he was talking to me about. I told him you're gonna have to do it yourself, or else you won't get the self-satisfaction.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
I told him not in so many words, but it boiled down to go and do it yourself.
100%, and that's where I think a lot of people. Yes, we all got into music in some way, shape, or form because we like the stage. I can't lie. That is one of my favorite things. That's what kept me going as a sound engineer when we were on our hiatus before all this. Like, it was the hype of, I'm helping these guys now, but oh fuck, I cannot wait for that to be my ground for 30 minutes. And just to do what the fuck I want in that time and perform. Like, that is still something I fucking love doing. But I'm not going to put that on the pedestal of utmost importance. I love songwriting. I love expressing myself. I love being able to deal with the shit I deal with in the way that helps me process it the most. Being able to share that is one thing, but I'm also someone who has I have the mental, I guess, awareness that my shit's not for everyone. No, not everyone's going to connect with my shit. That's not my intention. This is Ray and I's journey. This is what we are coming up with. This is what we are doing for ourselves. And if you like it and you are embracing it, we welcome you along. But we are not here to please anyone. And I feel like that's something a lot of people, I think, eventually start leaning to the stage aspect of things. It's no longer about expression. It's about being, I guess, control. Going back to that topic of control, I guess. It's not so much about being able to control yourself and control your emotions. It's more about being able to control a crowd for 30 minutes. Have them praise your name.
About that. Not praising my name.
No, but you know what I mean? Like, the whole, like, world-class white trash, like, getting that crowd at the end of a song, getting that roar after a set. It's fucking awesome.
Off stage! Get off stage!
Get off stage!
You're too drunk! You're...
But you know what I mean? Like, I feel those are important things. Those are great things, but do not give it more weight than it deserves. Everything that comes to being a musician is important. I would argue the stage is not the least important, but it is the least likely to happen on a regular basis.
It's the exhibition ground. That's it. That's all. And it's a good place to sell a large chunk of your merchandise.
Exactly. And for some people, it's a good therapy session. Like it is.
Definitely. I'm one of those people every now and again. You've probably seen me jump on stage with more than one band that's not my band.
There's been a few times where I've just come to Calgary to watch a show and be like, okay. I can't do that. He can do that. Cool.
I did a few with Yumi Yokai from,
That's tight.
No, this one was with the 21st Agenda.
Another solid band.
It was at Vern's, and I did one song with these boys, and I was fucked. I could barely move after.
That's one thing I'm realizing too. Ray and I did a practice about 2 weeks ago, and Ray realized how sloppy she was across the board on material, just because we don't spend our time practicing every fucking week. Like, we're working on stuff. We're not really going back, and we need to focus on that. We've come to a decision on that. But I realized how much my endurance is just shit the bed. So now I'm trying to get into the routine of like doing some kind of workout at the end of the night. It doesn't happen every night, but at least I'm trying to get into the routine of doing things to up it. I need to get more into just doing maybe live stream vocal covers, and instead of worrying about what ones I haven't touched, just being like, no, I'm just going to do a half hour. I don't care if I repeat shit.
When I come down there next, I got a couple of songs.
Okay.
I want to do a vocal cover on like old hardcore and punk songs.
Ooh, we can do that.
Yeah, and just some real cool songs, real good ones. Like, have you ever heard of 108?
Oh fuck, it's been a while since I've heard of them.
Krishnacore, man. Krishnacore. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Very soon.
Oh yeah.
I got plans for next time I come to Medicine Hat. We got a lot of work to do. Like,
we got a lot of stuff we got to do.
There'll be a couple podcasts for sure. I want to get down there and I want to do a podcast with Bart from Wasted Wax Records. I want to do a podcast with Merv and the guys. Well, Bart's in Total Wolf, right? But
I forgot he was in Total Wolf.
Yeah, I want to do a live stream album review.
Ooh.
Of their, because Merv has been very patiently waiting for me to review the album. He would ask me before Christmas, and then Christmas came, and obviously holidays and stuff.
Yep.
And then I got the Danger Cats gig, and then my family fell apart. And then I found out
life happens.
Yeah, exactly. And then I found out not only do I have a couple kidney stones, both kidneys are full of kidney stones. Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, people.
Down to. Don't do fucking drugs. What else? Issues with my own nuclear, like, close family. Legal issues and stuff that I'm dealing with currently, but I'm still going. Yeah. Merv knows that I'm on his side, and he knows that he will get the best quality shit out of me because I love him to pieces. But yeah, I want to do a live album review, so that way I can get genuine. There's no cuts and edits. It's just me giving you my honest opinion as I'm listening to the song. I'm going to do the same thing for Covenant Tyrannus as well.
Fuck yeah.
I was talking to Swansea about it. Maybe I could do the same thing for you, Yevon, too, once you guys drop that biatch.
Oh yeah, once the entire EP drops, go fucking ham.
Well, I already have it, obviously.
I know, yeah, duh. You've had it longer than most people have had it.
Well, I couldn't find it. And then I checked this morning, and Asher sent me the email for it this morning.
Oh. Well, there you go. Well, there you go.
Yes.
Speaking of, thank you, Asher, for all the help with everything on that.
Oh, John Asher. If honestly, he is like a little bit of a role model for me in a sense, you know, his work ethic and the way he can just talk to other bands, and he's always releasing stuff. He's always grabbing new bands. He's
busting ass. He lets you know his honest opinion too. He'll be 100% honest with you too, and I love that about him. Like I've sent numerous things to him throughout the years with my solo shit, with Oath back in the day, and just like getting other stuff going. And it was really nice that for the first time I've actually gotten like a genuine, like I can tell Asher actually digs what I've sent him this time. It's not
with him twice for World Class White Trash and then World Class Dissolved. But obviously I kind of maintain the contact. And
he's great for that.
Hopefully I can get him on the cast. I know he would probably do it if I asked.
That would be an awesome one to do. I would 100% like that. I
got to get through a couple of people who I obviously already said I would do the cast with, which is you being one of them, Swan. I got to get the one with Mark Russell out, DJ Temple as well. Like I got a whole very large list, and I'm finally starting to schedule it out. Actually, tomorrow. Hold on, let me pull my book out.
Hell yeah.
I got a book.
What other books you got? What other interviews you got? He's got a book.
Bro. I got a book. It's a little black book. It's a sexy burgundy book.
Oh, he got read like a book.
Yeah, Bubby. Okay.
Read like a book.
So, we got the Metal Sampler, which was dropped today. Hyperia on Wednesday.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, baby. St. Patrick's Day. I'm waiting to post on Facebook to see if anybody would be interested in a live stream.
That'd be cool.
Seeing as how it's St. Patrick's Day and all, but then again, everybody might be going to the bars. Get them all drunk and then they can come home and watch the live stream. But I can't stay up that late. I'm an old man.
Dude. We got our phones. Everyone's got a Bluetooth device now.
Right.
Even at the bar.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good one. And then I got Darren May. Darren May.
Oh, that's cool.
He's going to be on the cast. I got Corona Band Sam Walker from Edmonton. He's going to be
Damn.
Yeah, he's going to come on the cast. I got some good ones coming up, man. That's why I got to work out these kinks and I got to start pumping these out.
Hey, that's why we go through the troubleshoot process.
Right? For everybody watching this right now, the podcast is only going to be about half as long as we struggled to get everything running properly.
Dude, it was hilarious. This is the first time where I haven't been able to really do anything aside from sit here and be like, I'll try to send you a link.
Here, maybe I'm going to watch this YouTube video, and you watch this YouTube video too, and we'll come to the same conclusion.
Yeah. And then after a while, just like I'm just going to sit here. I'll talk when I need to so that Nate knows that I'm still here and can see if the feed's working, and he's gone. Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Oh, fuck yeah. So, the covers and stuff, the YouTube channel, actually, you know what? Have you been getting anything from other musicians still? Have you been producing and engineering for other musicians?
I'm actually working on an EP for a post-hardcore band from Lethbridge called Invicta Heights right now.
I've heard of Invicta Heights.
Yeah, Jacob, and I'm going to say this right now, these guys are fucking awesome. These guys are the definition of taking advice and doing the work. Because if you remember back in May when this shit got really bad, I just went, I in no way can justify reaching out to bands, trying to profit off bands right now. I will offer my services half off for those that want it, but I am not in marketing right now. I'm not looking for people. I'm not doing outreach. I'm just there for people that need the assistance, but I'm not here to make money off people right now. There's no fucking point. I'm working just under full time at Best Buy. I'm trying to do what I can to preserve myself here, and I understand, or maybe it's just my mindset, during a pandemic is the last time when someone who's trying to build reputation should try to profit off those that are disadvantaged. I would rather tell people spend your $200 that you would spend to come here and record if you were allowed to and get an interface and record all the guitar DIs yourself until you are happy with it.
you got to give people the choice on how they want to spend their money.
Oh no, definitely. Like the choice is there, but I'm not going out of my way to look for it.
Exactly. I totally know what you're saying. You're still offering services, but you're not going to nail down a price and turn people away if they can't pay it.
Exactly. And so with the Vika Heights, I went, I'm offering half off on my services. Send me what you got. And they sent me a demo, and I was like, this is a good demo, but I can't make this sound better than it is because of X, Y, or Z. How about you guys go about, if you want to do this, I'll send you a quote for a full 4-track EP. But if you guys want to get the most out of it, I need you to do these things. I need you to make sure you program drums. Because I'm sorry, the room that you tracked drums in, your garage isn't suitable. It's going to sound like a
garage door.
Yeah, exactly. No, literally, I could hear the garage door in the cymbal hits, and it was just like, the drummer's great. It's nothing against the drummers playing. It's just the sound of the room will not make you guys sound like you are a band that wants to kick the door in with your first release. You're going to sound like every other underground band who's trying to self-produce.
Well, and you know what? There is a sort of like, there is a market for that grease raw sound.
Not for the sound they want.
And that's just it. If you're asking for somebody to fix it and you're not releasing it, then obviously you need to take the advice. But I've heard some sick fucking shit.
Oh,
like
depending on
Space Days, bro. Remember
dude.
Job for a Cowboy came out, bro?
Yeah, no, like if they were a hardcore punk band, it probably would have been a different story, because raw, that's the point of it. It's raw. But these guys, they're a post-hardcore band a la the late 2000s. We're talking Atreyu at the top of their game.
They want tone and reverb, and they want layers of sound.
It needs to sound good. The guitar tracks that are written on top of each other, they need to work.
Roten. Fuck yeah, Roten for sure.
Yeah, so Malcolm, written, but with that, like, so they contacted me in May about this, and I gave them my thing, and I also sent them my PDF of like, when you guys are ready, get a hold of me. There is no time frame on this. We don't know when the pandemic's over, so this quote is good as long as this is happening. You have as long as this entire bullshit thing is right now to contact me and be like, oh, we're ready, let's fucking do this. And every other month I maybe check in, just be like, hey Jacob, how are you? I'm sure your band's doing fine, but you reached out to me, we've talked, I want to make sure you're doing good. How's life? And we'd keep in touch that way. Months later, he's finally like, hey, I think we're almost there, I'll send you another track. Like, hell yeah. I need you guys to double the guitar tracks. I can't have just one guitar up the center if you guys want this really wide sound. I know your guitarist is probably going to hate me, but I need him to double track everything. It's the way we have to do it. And also
done twice, man.
Yeah. And also, if you want to use your pedals, cool, but I do need the DI source.
Shout out to Tyler Dory. At least you're not doing it 37 fucking times.
Exactly. You don't. That vocal takes, man. Remember, like going in to do a vocal take and not knowing what the fuck you're gonna do, and it taking like the 40th take until you finally like click on. Oh,
I'm using.
There we go. Yeah, this pattern is wrong.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Nate, go back in the closet.
Exactly. And it's being prepared and wanting to. I always say this to every band I work with. I want to do the best I can for you because I don't want you to look back on this and be disappointed with what you got. But I can only do so much. I can't fix things. I can make you sound as good as I can, but there are going to be certain things where if it's a bad drum performance, it's a bad drum performance. For instance, like I would, if you want it to not be a bad drum performance, I will replace you with the drum machine, not because I want to, but because you guys want to sound specifically. And I find ego gets in the way a lot, especially in younger musicians, where it's like, I don't want to do this because I feel like it's compromising integrity in some way. Versus like, no, we're just, that vision you have in your head, we want to get it out. Let's use the tools we can. If we can't do
exactly, like not everybody back in the day, they used what was at their disposal, and then they would because a lot of people don't understand that we're not in America.
Yeah.
We're not in America. You're not going to get discovered at a club in Canada for playing metal. You're not going to... It's not LA where Ozzy Osbourne is going to stroll into your fucking club and get you to play Ozfest the next fucking weekend. You know?
Nope.
This is Canada. So you got to use what you have, and you have to use it well. Not just that, back in those days, they used what they had. So if they figured out a new way to use what they had, they were on the...
They embraced it.
So if
samples have been used since the 80s.
So exactly. So if you're on the cutting edge now and trying to find a new way to use something, that's what's going to fucking launch you onto the next level. Not trying to go for the old shit that's already been fucking done. You know, there's a certain lust, like a certain romance for that, but... Not if you're...
It's how you use it.
Yeah, not if you're trying to really develop something like new and your own, because that's already been done. Like, use techniques. Don't just copy and paste the fucking same thing with your name on it.
Exactly. Show your influence, but don't just simply replicate it.
Express your expression without expressing it.
There we go. And but
to the boys, Chris Cowan, Paul McCart, Shat Music.
Yes. but to go back, because I feel like the counter argument is again the DIY punk band, but that's what we're going for. That's awesome. If that's your kind of like that's the sound we're going for, I get it. But if say you want to be a really tight, let's take my band for instance. We want to be a really tight, groovy, melodic, metalcore, gent, new metal. We're just adding everything that's got groove.
A soup band. Soup metal.
Yeah, soupy. But for us right now, I know that I can hit most of the beats on drums, but my drums, do not sound the way I would want to for this record, and my drumming is not good enough to be suitable for this. So what do I do? Okay, I'm going to create a drum sound that I like out of what I have. I'm not just going to use one set of samples. I'm going to create a blend so that I at least have a sound that is mine for the kit, that sounds good. And I'm going to spend the time thinking through all the parts as if I was actually a drummer, not if someone is just playing like, I just want a beat, I just want to play guitar to it. Be like, how would the drummer feel grooving to this? Where's the expression in it? And just utilizing the tool at my disposal. If I just use the drums in the back there, if I was adding like a good drummer, and not just someone that can pass and hit the count, probably could have been utilized. But where I'm at, or where Ray's at in that certain, instrument, what it sounded like shit. And we both acknowledge that. So we're like, program drums, the way we have to do it. Or in the case of any of the guys that are at home that got just a Focusrite or a simple 2-channel interface and a DAW, you don't have anywhere to record drums. Recording drums is fucking expensive because
baby,
you need a lot of fucking mics.
Yeah, not just that. You need to like replace all your fucking heads too beforehand. You're not gonna no self-respecting engineer, and like you got to do some shit to your drums that you probably didn't think you were gonna have to do. No engineer's gonna fucking record you with dead fucking batter heads or dead res heads, right? Like.
Exactly. If someone's like, a drummer comes in and says, I want my drums to sound lively. Okay.
Get new fucking skins.
Exactly. But again, it's expensive. So everyone who's like being like, oh, everything's too expensive to do it, that's why there's that other option. If your drummer's really good, but you guys can't afford it, good. Have your drummer program it so it's exactly how he would do it. So that he can be like, all right, when we get to live, that's how I'm going to fucking sound. I'm going to do it that way. I might make some changes, but I'm going to sound just as tight when we get to live. Because they're different experiences. What matters is that you got it down when it matters. If you're not on the record, that sucks. A lot of band members aren't on their own records. Bullet for My Valentine, Matt Tuck does all the guitar. The other guitarist doesn't hit the fucking studio. He does all the bass. The bassist doesn't hit the fucking studio. That is his project. Yeah, no, but that's just to be like, there are bands that a lot of people look up to where, yes, everyone might contribute to writing, but
in the end, it's not just Corey Taylor and a harmonica.
Exactly. Or no, you know what. That's all Slipknot is they're just taking a harmonica, they're middying it up, and it's just working. That's how the drums go. That
band from 2002 to 2014 is Corey Taylor with a harmonica. I don't give a fuck who's credited on the album.
Yep. Especially POD.
Oh. I'm gonna forget you said that.
But I guess to end it off, like something that a lot of engineers say in regards to like, how do we make sure that bands sound as good as they want it to sound? And it's a matter of communicating, being like, it's not a matter of who can and who can't. It's like, who has the best hands for the job? Who can do this? Yes. 100%. Swan is one of the best, especially now that he's taken the time to record himself and really dive into like what he does. Like 2-3 years ago while we're recording, if I told him, hey man, I need your tremolo picking to get harder, he's like, I thought it was hard. And then I look at the wavelength and be like, I can't even see a pick. Like there's no spike. It's so Sean, I look at your chug now, look at that. Like what happens? Like, oh. But now he's like, because he does it and he works on it, he knows what he needs to do to get something that works. He knows the level of work.
Yeah, when I tried to play the bass tracks for the 8-hour fucking song challenge, I couldn't play the bass hard enough.
Yeah, you have to smack the thing.
Oh, man, I had a good pick and everything. I thought I was prepared.
But that comes into, I guess, the final thing is it's the studio is a completely different thing. Like, I love the idea of like certain style bands. I think mainly thrash metal bands, punk bands, and really fucking good tech death bands could get away with doing something live off the floor and having it sound really good. And maybe not everyone off the floor, but drummer and main guitar to start it off. Like, get the main pulse of everything, get that live feel. But again, that comes down to money, time, and space. And not everyone has that. So if you can't get the ideal situation, not so much saying make a compromise, but put your vision first. Be like, I want it to sound like it can compete with X, Y, or Z. What do I need to do that? What are my resources? Like, and just go from there.
If you really want to do it, you're gonna fucking do it.
Exactly. If all you do is record riffs on your phone, fuck yeah. You have a catalog of riffs. You could just import that into your computer at some point in time and be like, all right.
Well, there's the quality snobs too, and you know that's reasonable. If you want the quality, then you want the quality. But if you want to do it, you're going to do it. That's what it all boils down to.
Yeah, if you want to get a concept out, you'll figure out a way to do it. It doesn't have to get released either. That's the beauty of it. You can do what you want with it.
So in closing, Nate, I love you. You're beautiful.
I love you too. Oh, thank you.
I'm going to be coming to Medicine Hat to see you real fucking soon, buddy. I got to visit the mom. I got to visit the stepdad. I got to visit the kitty cats.
Yes.
I got to see the Medicine Hat crew. So, everybody, thank you for checking out the video. Go check out Yevon by No Hope for the Lost. It is fucking insane. The last metal sampler that I just released, it starts with their new single. So, go give that a listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher. Actually, Nate, you're the one with my RSS list, so...
Oh, shit, that's been a while. I gotta pick that back up.
There's a bunch of them. If you Google Trash Talk Nate Trash, it's gonna be me, plain and simple.
You're gonna have a good time.
Thanks for checking it out, Nate. Thanks for joining me. I fucking, I love you forever. Don't jump out of the call after I stop recording.
I'll stay. I'll stay, and thank you for having me.
Beautiful. Go check out No Hope for the Lost. Go check out my metal samplers. Go check out Canadian fucking metal and punk rock and every other type of Canadian artistry out there. Even American.
Do it now!
Check out some fucking art and don't be an asshole. Cheers, guys.